welcome to this tutorial. So today what we're doing is we're just doing a test sheet using watercolor, and we're going to look how watercolor, color pencil, and ink all work together. Since this is a nature inspired project, we are going to create various shapes based on nature. So for this one is going to be a flower with multiple leaves. One thing to remember is when you do this, you want to make sure that you have a lot of options. So you're going to see that we're going to do a couple of different techniques here with the leaves. For instance, we're going every other filled and outlined. And then we're going to take each of these leaves and we can experiment differently. After this, we're going to just create a nice big leaf shape. And we're using yellow, greens, and greens. And when this is all dry, we're going to be using a variety of techniques. The reason we do this is, unless you know how something is going to look like, you already know how ink, watercolor, and color pencil work together. You want to practice different techniques to see what works and what doesn't work for you, or what works and doesn't work for the project you're doing. I do this even if I'm doing charcoal or I'm doing a pen and ink project. I always want to have some kind of experiment sheet or practice sheet to figure out what I like and what I don't like, or what works and what doesn't work as far as technique. So we want to do a couple of different colors. We're doing a couple of different types of shapes. So this is going to turn into a tree eventually, along with the two other ones painted next to it. And when we do this, there's two ways to approach this. One, we can do it at the end of class, last 20-25 minutes, and then we want to make sure we have enough time for it to dry so we can put it away. And then the next class session, work with the ink and color pencils. The reason we want to do that is because even when the paper filled dry, if there's any type of moisture in the fibers, color pencils won't work and ink will bleed. So you want this paper to be completely 100% dry. The one thing you can do, if you look at the left hand side, you can see it's already started to dry. You can take a blow dryer to that and complete the process. What you don't want to do is take a blow dryer to it when there is puddles of liquid, like on the sections I'm just painting right now, because the blow dryer will blow that paint all over the place. These are all out of the head. If you want something specific, or you want something to really look like something from nature, I would recommend having a photo reference handy, and then you can base your shapes off that photo reference. This is purely just to see how things look, so it really doesn't matter how things look in the long run, as long as you can see what the techniques are going to look like. And then the last thing that's going to be added is a flower to the very top. And the reason this is done afterwards is because you want to give that time to dry so it doesn't bleed into the green. Now that the paper is completely dry, doing some swatches down below to check out the colors of the color pencil, because you want to see what the colors look like. And then on each of these leaves we're going to do something slightly different. So what the color pencil looks like on top, how the color pencil is going to look blended, how the color pencil is going to look with ink. So we're going to do a couple of different things here. And we never ink the whole thing. We always try to use different techniques in different sections. We want to have as many possibilities as necessary. So we want to give ourselves a lot of different things to look at. And again, this leaf is just going to be halfway done here. And use different techniques in different areas. So techniques going to use at the top of the leaf is going to be different than the techniques used at the bottom of the leaf. And we'll go through and ink some of it, but not all of it, because you always want to see what does it look like inked. What do you want it to look like when it's inked and colored pencil? What does it look like when the colored pencils have been blended with ink? And then you also want to see what the watercolor just looks like on its own. So down here, doing a different blending technique with the color pencil. And then on the other side, we're going to do the same technique, but then add ink to it. So if you look at it, this one leaf, you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4 different looks off that one basic shape. And really it's up to you to figure out what you like or what you don't like. And we're going to do the same thing to this leaf shape. We're going to look at what does it look like with a color pencil border? What does it look like with an ink border? What does it look like with a color pencil and ink border? And what does it look like with just the watercolor by itself? And again, this gives you 4 different looks for what you can possibly do. Now at the top, I kind of went off the camera, sorry about that. So just adding ink lines to make trees out of these shapes. And that brings us to the end of the tutorial. So again, make sure that you're practicing and experimenting because you want to answer all your questions on a test sheet. That's it for the video.